Lami, how you doing? How's your weekend going?
Oh, I'm good, bro. I'm good, oh. Just chilling. I'm trying to be a superhero this weekend. My plan this weekend is to
Superhero?
be a superhero. Yes, sir. I'm reading books on how to stop planes with my hands. That's what I'm doing right now.
Is that like Flash and Batman and
See,
Superman?
so
What's the thinking?
You know I'm an Injebu man, eh? And
Yes, now. Yes,
we
now.
got the powers. We got the powers.
Proudly, proudly, proudly,
So I'm
proudly.
thinking that what that prince tried to do, what this Cable tried to do that day.
ValueJet aircraft after he refused to surrender a flask suspected to contain alcohol. He claimed it was medication.
I'm thinking that if I go and get one Baba to give me that kind of ring, they'll just be like, hey, stop there. And the plane will just stop on the tarmac, and the pilot will be pushing the engine, pressing the button, pushing the thrusters, pushing it, and the plane will just be standing there, and I'll just be like, yeah, I did this, I did it. Then when they have finished begging me, I'll just be like,
Begging.
don't roll forward, beg me, because I'm a bad guy. So next time you see me, I'm able to hold planes in my mind.
I've never.
I'm just give them Magneto style. I'll just give them Magneto style, man.
I have never seen anything like that before.
K1 the ultimate.
I have
Ultimate
never
plane stopper.
seen anything like that before.
The ultimate plane stopper.
Even people with private jets don't touch their private jets when they're taking pictures. They respect the private jets.
Yeah.
There's that distance, that respect for that beast that is in front of you.
Yeah.
Where do we start from? Let's start from the beginning. We need to break this. We need to analyze this and break it.
What was the beginning? For me, it was I saw a video online of someone they said was Kwam on the tarmac standing in front of a plane. And then they showed him, the caption said the moment Kwam docked under a wing of a plane that was about to take off.
Yeah.
So my first thing was, what happened here? Was there an accident? Was this Nigerian safety? Was it a lapse in Nigerian security at the airport? Did the passenger accidentally stray onto the flight apron?
Yes.
Is that what happened? Like onto a taxiway? Was this a mistake? Was it a catastrophic failure of some kind? That was what I was thinking. And while I was thinking it, I now started reading the stories, and they said no, Kwam was trying to board a plane, and they denied him access. So he, look, you tell these stories better than I do. Tell me this story. You tell it better than I do. But I'll say that it said, so he.
You are a great storyteller, my friend.
Okay, look, let me try my hand at it. Let me
your storytelling skills.
Let me try it. Let me try it.
Tell the story.
So the story was that the passenger was trying to board the plane with a water bottle or stuffs of something, and the flight crew were like, "Bros, you cannot board with that gorodome of water. A gorodome.
It's not this kind of water bottle that is transparent, though.
A gorodome.
It's not this kind of. It's not this kind, though.
And they said, "Bros, you cannot be boarding a aeroplane with that big gorodome of water." And the guy said, do you know who I am?
God have mercy upon us.
How can you tell me that I cannot me?
Do you know who I am?
Me. I cannot board a plane with this gorodome, this dispenser bottle of water. And they're like, bro, sir, it's a GP tank of water. Why are you trying to board the plane with a whole GP, IEP tank of water? And they said the bros was like, no, I will do it.
Can't stop me.
With it. And if I cannot do it, nobody's going to board this flight. And in fact, I will use my ring. I will hold the plane. And they said while they were pushing it back and forth, allegedly, please, allegedly, Joe, please. I don't have mommy and daddy, please. They said that Yoruba will say, Omotio niya okin degbo that a child that doesn't have a mother doesn't have sores on his back because there's no one to defend them. Please, I said allegedly. I beg, please. Anyway, story goes that he allegedly then poured the contents of the Aipi tank of water over the person, over one of the airline staff. At which point they denied him boarding on the aircraft, and he stood on the tarmac and said, "If I'm not going, nobody's going." And they said, I saw the videos, and he started, trying to stop the plane from moving. He had one hand on the plane, and he was making a call. I can only imagine he was trying to call. I don't know. The legend now has it. Now that we now hear is that it was calling the owner of the airline or something. Anyway,
it had to be somebody influential. Who will he be calling at that point in time?
That he was making a call. I mean, they could be calling the Minister of Aviation for who knows. Story goes, he was making a call, and I think the pilot got tired, and the pilot just moved. So the angle I first saw was reckless pilot tries to knock down a passenger. Yeah. And that the pilots have been suspended. And I was wondering what happened? What happened? Like, what happened? Kilo shell.
What happened?
What happened? Can't we all just get along, And that's what I was thinking. And then I started to dig into the story. This 2025 is a year of Abami, is a year of things, of special things. Anyway, and lo and behold, the story was that, of a truth, he tried to board the aircraft with a bottle of liquid. The story is that the liquid in the bottle was alcohol, and he poured it over the cabin crew or one of the ground crew of the airline, and they stopped him. And that was the story. Eventually the pilots got upset. They were like, if you don't get out, they will knock you over. And then they moved, and the plane took off. And then, that was the story. Later, details have now come out. So much has now come out about it. And, it takes up so many questions. Is my take on it accurate so far?
No, very accurate. Carry on. Very accurate.
Okay. No, I think I'm done. I'd like to hear your take on it so far. What do you think?
So, allow me. Mm-hmm. You remember that very, very, very recently, we did a very timely episode on village people. They have got the team. They've been chasing this man from his 20s. Otin Shelo. You can't do that kind of thing as a one-off now. You've been doing it for a while. Let's call it what it is. You asked me for my take, that's my take. And that day, though the airline security failed in their responsibility by allowing him to even get close to the runway or to the aircraft, the minute he was not going to release, let's even remove the contents. Let's remove the contents for a second, whether alcohol, whether water. Let's just even take that to one side. International airports, civil aviation laws state that you cannot fly with more than 100 ml liquid in a clear bottle. In a clear bottle, something similar to this. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that's why, and that's because so that they can see what's inside, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are exceptions. The exceptions are for medical reasons. So there's a medical reason where you need to carry more than 100 ml on board. You let the airline know, and you drop your doctor's report or associated good documents. The airline reviews it, and they say, fine, based on this, you can take more than 100 ml. Now, he refused to drop the contents, and he tried to board the plane, like you said very accurately. Now got onto the the report I read was that he got onto the plane, and when they were telling him, they were still arguing or talking about the the content, and then he threw, like I said, allegedly, but NCA also released an official statement, and in that statement they mentioned the words alcohol. So I'm safe to say, I'm not saying it's alleged, because there's an official statement that has actually said it's alcohol. That he threw alcohol on some of the crew and even some passengers, is what I read yesterday. And at that point, or just before that point, the captain came out of a cockpit. Obviously, when there's unruliness going on in a plane, it affects the safety of not just the plane, the pilot, and the passengers. But also, don't forget that there are circling planes already. There are also planes trying to land.
Yeah.
So airports work with timing. So every delay causes like a knock-on effect to the next flight, and so on and so forth. So the story that I read was that they were trying to talk to him, and then he got quite angry, agitated, belligerent, and he poured the contents of that flask, that golden flask, onto some of the crew members. And at that point, he was told to get off the plane. Got off the plane.
Yeah.
And instead of now leaving that area, and the part where we saw, a lot of us saw, the video that we saw was him standing like at the nose of the plane. That plane is a rear engine plane. Had it been at that plane was a twin propeller plane with twin engines on either side, that move that he made, it could have been something. It could have been something.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, it was an Airbus, one of the bigger aircraft,
like a 777 or one of the Airbuses.
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Where the engines are on the wing, or a turboprop, and they just.
Why would you do that? That irresponsibility, that reckless behavior, that, like you said, entitlement. Do you know who I am? And they were begging him. That's the part I didn't get. The officials went high-vi. I don't know whether they were ValueJet. Some of them were ValueJet officials because they had the ValueJet logo. Some of them were also fan officials. Federal Airport Authority fan and ValueJet. And then, like you said, the plane started to accelerate. And Kwam won from 67 just went to 25. See the way he ducked that thing.
25.
Reflexes. The guy just did 2 steps, because that thing would have taken taken his neck off. And he would have used his head to hit the tarmac. And thank God. But it's just that is the recklessness, is the in some part, and I'm going to go to pilot in a second. But for me, I've already talked about the airport authorities and the security, the chief security officer, or the people that were on board, that were in the airport terminal should not have allowed him to even get near the plane. The minute he said he was not going to relinquish that flask, or you don't enter the plane, you don't go there, and if he should have been arrested or detained, right, till he calmed down. You're not going on the plane. So that's the first part. Second part, okay, that lapse. So the multiple failure lines here, multiple failure points. He now gets into the plane. They tell him to get down, and then at that point they could have gotten another team to get him off the tarmac, especially as the captain has intervened, and that intervention did not yield fruit. It yielded fruit in terms of he got off the plane, but it didn't yield fruit in terms of he didn't get out of the tarmac in time. Now, these are now my own questions. So we've already talked about him staying in front of the plane and how dangerous that is for his own life, for the life of or the lives of even the people that are trying to take off. We don't know Some of those people are going to Lagos for medical reasons. Some of them are going to catch a connecting flight to go outside the country. Some of whatever they're going to do. Your decisions and your behavior is delaying those people. And if the untimely, if in the event that he now lost his life or he became seriously injured, that flight obviously would not have moved.
Yeah.
Now to the pilot, right? In this whole saga, I blame Kwam 100. Most blame will go to Kwam 1. This is where, in as much as I have a little bit of sympathy for the pilot, the pilot also shares some blame for me, and I'll tell you why. So the pilot has the overall responsibility. I know sometimes the pilot can be overruled, but in terms of when we're taking off, if we're taking off, the pilot is the one that is controlling that aircraft. I believe that the pilot was incensed. Now, we don't know the words that were exchanged between Kwam 1 and the cabin crew and the pilot. We don't know what kind of damaging words were exchanged. We don't know the impact of somebody pouring alcohol on your uniform. Did she have a spare uniform to change into? We don't know any of these things, right? For me, the pilot should not have moved an inch until the pilot 100% got full cooperation that nobody was on the tarmac. And if possible, even tell the first officer, because that's why there are two in a cockpit. She can tell the first officer, do me a favor, we're all good to go, tires are good, and well, I heard there are almost 700 controls in a cockpit. So I have big respect for pilots. Swally, to any pilot listening to this, well, we are not here to say anything negative about your profession. But I also know that the temperament for pilots and surgeons are a higher level than most other professions for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Right? So this is my thinking, this is my theory, that it is possible that the pilot was incensed, angry, and quite emotional with what happened. And as a result of that, also came up with an assumption that the tarmac was cleared. That's one. Two, maybe in the cockpit there were blind spots, and the pilot was not able to see Kwam 1 at the nose of the plane, right? Holding it, posing for pictures, Instagram pictures. Posing for Instagram pictures, right? So maybe it was in a blind spot, right? And proceeded to move. So that's where I blame. See, if everything that happened still happened and the pilot did not move, Kwam 1 and the airport authorities take the 100% blame, and the pilot is a 100% superstar for being at the forefront of safety to say, I am personally responsible for the passengers and for this aircraft. And if there is an unruly passenger that has not been removed from the scene, I don't move the plane. And tell the control tower, I am not moving until everybody clears from the tarmac. Now, I'm also reading some accounts that the pilot was cleared to fly. Even if the pilot was cleared to fly, my question is, should the pilot have flown or waited a little bit? You and I have flown a few times, and there are times where we're in a plane and we're just sitting there for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and they will just tell you they are doing checks.
Yeah.
The pilot will just say, I'm Captain so and so, I'm doing checks, sorry for the delay, blah, 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 blah. We don't know what the checks are. Sometimes they'll tell you, sometimes they may not tell you. Yeah. So it could be that maybe she needed a little bit of a moment to get herself together. And maybe I'm not even fit to fly with what has just happened. I'm not fit to fly. After all, if a pilot gets sick on air, as in vomiting, on air, just before they're about to take off, will the airline still say that pilot should fly the plane?
No.
They may have to get a substitute
Absolutely not.
pilot to come on board and take the plane, or cancel the flight.
Absolutely.
So these are just the small area that I'll just say the pilot takes some blame, and that's consistent with the suspension. Of course, they are doing an investigation. If that investigation shows that the pilot could not have physically seen that he was on the tarmac and she did not intentionally move to harm Kwam, then the story changes a little bit for the pilot. But if the investigation reveals that she did see him, and some people are saying that the way she moved that plane was a bit too quick.
No, look, the truth of the matter is, if you watch the video, I've seen different angles. That pilot knew the pilot that he was there. They moved.
It looks that way. That it was a bit.
They moved. They'd stopped. They'd moved. They'd stopped. They'd moved about 3-4 times. They moved and stopped. It was a case of, if you want to die, look, get out of here. And I absolutely agree with
she's
you.
probably had enough of many VIPs doing this thing. Probably had enough. I'm not justifying it, but it's just that bad behavior, that impunity,
Yeah.
And what's annoying me about this whole saga is these people don't do this on international flights.
Who born you? You're on a no-fly list.
Do you understand?
On that day, you wind up on a no-fly list. In the US, Homeland Security will further carry you away. Homeland Security is taking you away.
So let's go to the punishment. What do you think about the punishment that
I'm going to go back to the things you raised. Look.
Okay, let's go back. Yeah.
Pilot, the captain of an aircraft has ultimate responsibility for safety for everyone on the plane.
Yes.
Okay. And in that circumstance, okay, she had no business taking off until, she had no business taking off that aircraft. Sorry, 1 second. She had absolutely no business taking off until they were certain that there was no danger to anybody. No business. There's no excuse in it. There's no way it makes sense that no. You're supposed to control your emotions. You're in a profession that puts you in control of the lives and well-being of
passengers,
everybody on that aircraft with you,
including those on the tarmac.
Yes. So there's no scenario in which you place your emotions. Look, it's a job requirement too. It's part of the requirements of the job, is your calmness under pressure. It's part of what you're tested on in the job. So you cannot say, I was angry. No. You don't get to say, I was so angry that I decided to. No. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Sorry. So the fact that you chose to move, and at that point, it is you chose to move. You chose to move.
That moving was the issue for me.
No, it's
without being 100% clear that nobody was on that tarmac.
Yeah.
Given what had happened earlier.
Look, I'll paint you.
What's the timeline of how long was you on the tarmac for? Because you know what we saw was the video clip.
So it doesn't even matter whether it was 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is. Look, as a pilot, that's one of the things you call it force majeure. In that, look, dear passengers, I would have loved to leave on time, but all of us can see what's going on the tarmac. Nobody is going to ever fault you
because you put their
for not taking off. Yes, no one's ever going to fault you for not taking off. And you can say it. I will just jam him. See, anybody can say that, but you're the pilot. You can't actually do it. Look, saying it and doing it are two different things. They should be two different things. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
There's no scenario in which you act on that impulse. It's an impulse. But there's no scenario in which you're allowed to act on that impulse. No.
Yeah.
It's unprofessional.
Yeah.
That's not your job. Your job is to look after everybody on that aircraft, including the raving idiot. And look, let me just paint a scenario. So she moves the aircraft and knocks this guy down, and he dies. Do you say, I moved the aircraft because it was in the way? I killed him because it was in the way? And that's where self-control comes into it. Look, all your arguments go out the window. It was a moment of insanity.
Yes.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
It was a moment of insanity.
Let's say that Kwam had a moment of insanity. You have a higher responsibility because it's also your profession. Kwam is a musician. He's an entertainer. You are the professional whose job it is. Your job is to secure the lives of everybody on that aircraft.
It's a big responsibility.
Yes. You don't get to be emotional about it. You have to do your job. You don't get to run over the idiot on the tarmac because it's annoying you. He's called the idiot on the tarmac for a reason. It's not your job to knock him over. That's not your job. Do you understand?
No.
You can't convert your aircraft into a weapon and kill this guy. That's not your job.
So there were options. That's what we're agreeing that there were options. There were options. Yeah.
There was no option that ended with you kill this guy because he's a fool. I'm going to kill him. It's not an option.
So Lami, what if even if she was cleared to fly, still, even if the ground control tower said,
was she cleared to commit murder?
No.
It's murder or manslaughter at that point.
Yeah. At that point, the story will change. Nobody will say you're cleared.
And you cannot then say as your defense, look, I'm a lawyer, Abi. You cannot then put up a defense and say, oh, what are you going to say? Self-defense? Provocation?
That's not self-defense.
No.
So what argument are you now using that?
There's no argument in the law. There's no argument in the law that's going to avail you. It is at the very least, it's manslaughter. So a moment of madness, right? Better control your emotions, though. Because that very brief moment of madness, and I hope that the pilots will take a lesson and learn from it.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, right, that very brief thing you did, that momentary lapse of judgment, all right, is now going to shape your career. That's the end of your career. It is a 6-month suspension now. It could actually be worse. It could result in a dismissal. And remember something here. There is you and the airline, your employers.
The license
you and the civil aviation authority is a different entity entirely.
Because they're the ones issuing the licenses.
Yeah. And they can decide that your conduct was so unprofessional that we decide that you don't deserve to keep your license.
And once
you're allowed one idiot. You can fly. So you've allowed one idiot to, and to the best of my knowledge, if you're going to go and fly in another country, you still have to have. So if she was going to leave Nigeria and go somewhere else to fly, I don't know if she has to take reference or something from
to be certified to fly there.
But you need a reference from your previous employers, right? Like we all do in any jobs with you.
Yes.
So you lost your job or you left your job because of a lapse of judgment. I'm not sure Emirates is going to hire you. Do you think Emirates hires you?
Yeah, no. No.
I don't think Emirates hires you. I wonder who hires you at that point. I'm really wondering.
Yeah, that's the part
So
where
have you allowed these idiots? Look, and I said, look,
just allowed. Yeah.
I don't
I
mean
was
to be
pained though. I was
salt
pained when I
control,
saw
but,
it. I was pained.
You know,
I
but the
was
truth of the matter is
pained.
that it's an act of idiocy, right?
Yes.
But you're not going to complicate somebody's act of idiocy with your own idiocy. It doesn't work like that. It shouldn't be a contest to determine who the bigger idiot is. It shouldn't be that. That's not what it should be. Somebody needs to remain in control at all times.
Yes.
In this case, that person is the pilot, who at this point forgot that they were professional.
That momentary lapse, like you said.
And you know, life changes on these things. Life changes on things like this. And all of a sudden, now you're here. You know, it could have gone south very quickly. So she knocks him down. Immediately, look, that flight. So you take off, right? You knocked him down.
Yeah, I'm not fit to fly.
As you are landing in Lagos, if the airline if the NTA doesn't ask you to come back, as you're landing in Lagos, police are waiting for you on the tarmac.
Even if it's another country.
Look, it's a domestic flight.
Yeah.
So as you're landing in Lagos, wherever that flight is going to, police are waiting for you on the tarmac. True or false?
True.
And now it's a question of, madam, you're under arrest. We need to investigate this incident. You're under arrest. And what are you going to say? He disturbed the aircraft. So what? I was angry. And so in your anger,
They're always going to be leading questions.
So in your anger, you did what? And what does your training manual do? What does your training manual recommend in these circumstances? Because you have a training manual. You also, look, then there's...
The optics are not good.
Then there's your employer's liability.
Insurance.
Because if you kill that guy, his family has a right to sue the airline. True or false? The family now has a right to sue the airline. So the family is now facing liability, wrongful death liability. And it's why we need to calm down.
Yeah, we need to calm. Yeah,
we need to stay in control. And look,
this is a lesson. Even for me, it's a lesson.
Yeah, it's a moment of madness.
Because she's a very, very good pilot. I mean,
it's that incident where a moment of madness changes the entire course of your life.
Yeah, very good pilot. I mean, even with all that happened, she still took that plane from Abuja to Lagos, landed safely, no incident. But like you said,
she's a captain, right?
Yes. Yeah. Over 10,000 hours of flying.
She's a captain.
Yeah, but it's just that.
And then a career that you spent God knows how long building gets destroyed because of what?
Because of plane stopper? Because of
the plane stopper.
You allow the plane stopper to.
You know, and let's look at Kwam himself. Let's look at Kwam himself. The reality is that he was out of line. There's no saving. Look, like you said, everywhere in the world, you can't board a plane. I've had to carry water on the plane. You buy your bottle of water after you've gone through security. Okay? Or you get on the plane and say, listen, I need water.
Because of this reason or the other, yeah. And he's flying business class. They'll give him water now.
It's only an hour. Look, it's only an hour's flight. How much water are you going to drink in an hour? Because at 67, you drink a liter of water an hour, you will pee. As you're drinking that water, you're going to the bathroom. You mean at our age, that man is a good 20 years our senior in age. Oh. You drink a liter of water in an hour. You know what I mean? Where are you going?
You're going to the loo.
Yeah. You're going to the loo. So even if they give you a dinky airline bottle as a quarter of a liter of water, they give you 2 of those. That's half a liter of water you drink throughout the flight. Let's even call it a 150 cl bottle of water or whatever.
Yes.
I'm losing my my 150 ml, whatever it is, 150 ml. I give you three of that. That's not half a liter of water you've drunk in 1 hour. Come on, it's not a drip. No be drip. No, not drip. Now infusion. No. Now. It's not like that. It's not that. It should not be that serious. But we're used to saying, do you know who I am? We're used to being the guy. That's why it can be like, I will call Shonami.
I will press your neck.
Who are you? I'll press you. Are you?
I'll press your neck.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I can call the president of Nigeria. The president knows me.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm his guy.
And we also forget why these rules were developed. Because a few decades or so ago, years ago, some idiot tried to blow up an aircraft with liquid he took on board, right?
British airline, I think.
And then there was some guy called Abdul Muttalab.
Yes.
Some Nigerian boy called Muttalab. So you can't even say Nigerians don't do such. It was a misguided POS called Muttalab that tried to kill. And look, I'll say it like this: try to kill a few hundred people to prove a point. Because some murderous POS called Abdul Muttalab tried to blow up an aircraft. And there was the other guy. And that's why we have these rules. It is for the safety of everybody.
And the shoe bomber as well, the British shoe bomber.
Yeah.
Richard something, forgotten his name. And that's why we started taking off our shoes in
yes, airport. But the liquid was Muttalab.
Yes, liquid was Muttalab.
So because of some idiot. Now, Mr. Kwam, you have to realize something. If they let you bring this bottle of water on the aircraft, they can let how many people on that flight? 80, 100? Even if it's 20, if you bring your bottle of water on the plane, every other person has a right to bring their bottle of water on the plane. You're not an exception. You are like every other Nigerian. Abi?
Spot on.
So you bring your ish on the plane.
Yeah, it's quite sad.
It's terrible. It's terrible. There are too many angles to it. And then
there's the security angle, there's the
just respect the system, respect the process.
Yeah, respect.
We all complain about what is wrong with Nigeria. We all complain about what is wrong with Nigeria.
But we should have our own part to play.
But here you are, you're a role model. So on one of the WhatsApp groups I'm in, on one of my Ijebu WhatsApp groups, Because Kwam is an Ijebu man, abi.
Yes.
He's only about Ijebu land or Ijebu, you know. So somebody posted a message that was supposedly from his media manager or something, and they were trying to deflect the blame onto the airline. And I was like, no,
Stop it.
stop.
Just
And
stop.
we had a recording that was supposedly between Kwam and the owner of the airline, where he was trying to, or someone where he was trying to justify, I did the water for sustenance, I had a surgery, I had whatever it is. Bros, they can give you water on the aircraft. It's only an hour. If it's longer than an hour, whatever it is, the airline will provide that water to you, unless it's
Because they will have excess now. They will have excess.
Unless you have a medical exemption, then bring that exemption on the plane. But it's not going to be water. It's going to be something like electrolytes or medication. It's not going to be water that you can get freely on the aircraft.
Hence why the exemption was granted in the first place. Bingo.
Ding, 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 ding. No, it's too many shades of wrong for my
Systemic
liking.
failure, man. Yeah.
Gross
Different multiple points.
failure. Too many points of failure. And for what? Now he's been banned for 6 months. That was a slap on the wrist.
Initially banned for 6 months, then that changed to indefinite.
Oh, it's indefinite now.
Yes, so the
Pending investigation,
NCA has changed it to indefinite pending when the investigation completes.
He's apologized though, and that shouldn't matter.
He has
Shouldn't matter that
apologized.
he apologized. It shouldn't matter.
Yes,
Look,
I saw it. Yeah.
we should still make an example of this person and say, look, you can't. And I think that kind of ban means you can't even get on a private jet in Nigeria.
No, it's a no-fly list ban on.
So you can't even get on a PJ.
No, you can't get on a PJ.
He has to go to Cotonou or Lomé to
By
get on the
road.
plane. Yeah, by
No, you
road.
can't get on a plane there too because it's an international no-fly list ban.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yes, local and
Okay.
international. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So the
but is it-
SCA has issued a presser to all airports.
Yee!
Can't fly because he's meant to be in Spain next week apparently for some function. That's dead in the water now. It's not. It can't go.
That's dead now.
Yeah.
That's dead now. Baba, you not try. Oh.
Nope. Nope.
And he's not a young man. He's almost 70 years old.
He's not a young man. No.
So at what point do you learn self-control? Well, I guess if you've been a celebrity all your life and you've been
Then there's I think there's also an anger management issue going on that he needs to resolve because, and this is for Kwam himself. I've seen a video of him. Some guy was taking a picture where he was performing.
really?
Like, yeah, it's on YouTube.
He knocked somebody's head.
Yeah, on the head, like boom, knock the guys on the head.
Why?
I don't know. The guy was taking pictures when he was performing, and I think it was disturbing his flow when he was singing. So he called him closer, and then when I saw that, I think that happened last year. When I saw that, I was like, this guy is a bit too angry. So there may be some. I think it's safe to say there's some anger management going on.
Then he needs to learn a lesson.
And anger and ego and arrogance are a cocktail for future embarrassment,
Wahala, yeah.
disappointment, and disgrace. It's going to come. It's a question of when. If you take one from it, you have a chance. So if you're not arrogant and then you're angry, then you can still, yeah. But if you're angry, you are arrogant. What's the other one I said? Yeah, that's the last one I said. If you have all three in one mix, it's not good. Because even when people are trying to beg you, you won't listen. Even if people are trying to make you serious and you won't listen. Yeah.
It's crazy.
You won't listen.
So he's lost income because of this.
It's lost income now, and yes, it's close to the president, but the president can't help you. There are some things that even he's not going to soil his name in this kind of mess.
Even if we're going to, then Even if we're going to intervene, what your cost serve punishment, you know. At least you serve you serve 2-3 months of a ban first.
Before people now say, okay,
Help you.
pardon. Yeah, it's lost income. Yeah, Kwam is probably booked for the whole year with his popularity.
He's a rich man, so he can afford it.
Yeah. So, what are the lessons for you? You know, we've talked about the pilot, we've talked about Kwam. Where can we learn from this in terms of even the airport authority being empowered to take, irrespective, you know how it is in advanced climes now, where we routinely see celebrities earning hundreds of millions of dollars, still being banned, arrested, driving DUI. David Beckham at one point couldn't drive for 2 years. He had to get a driver because he broke the speed limit. And they didn't care. They didn't care that it was a Manchester United legend. They didn't care it was an England captain. They didn't care. If you drive under influence or you break our speed limits and your points on your license are more than a certain amount, you will not drive. David Beckham's case, it was banned for 2 years. So here, they don't mind making celebrities the example. In our own part of the world, our own celebrities use, not all of them, but some of them use their associations with power, their associations with people in power to circumvent and break and disrespect the rules on a regular basis. And I think what has changed in this particular case is social media. Social media is the game changer.
Yeah.
So in the past, you'd have probably been able to buy the next day's edition of news that would probably tarnish your name and just tell an editor that, look,
But now it's in real time.
It's real time. You can't tell people on tarmac that they cannot record. No, there's no law that says you cannot record on tarmac. So,
and there are multiple angles of that incident. Multiple angles.
I've not even seen the full thing, allow me.
I've seen like 3 different angles of it.
Okay.
I've seen there are multiple angles of that incident. Multiple angles. So who's to bet? I mean, there are angles with audio. There are angles that were recorded by the airline staff themselves.
Wow. And
you can hear audio, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you can hear audio of the incident as it's unfolding. The audio.
When are we going to get to a point where the airline staff can tell anybody, and I mean anybody, that Oga or Madam, you're not entering this plane, and they don't fear that person is going to make a call that will make them get suspended or lose their jobs? Because I think that's where we need to get to before all these impunities, especially when it concerns safety. I'm not saying VIPs worldwide still will not get privileges. That's one of the privileges that you get as being a VIP. But like you said, it's how you now manage that power, that privilege that you've had by a success of your own performance, your talent, or your wealth. How you are able to still say, I will work within the rules, even though I know, I have, more privileges than others, but I'm not going to do something that will now circumvent my own life and the lives of others around me, especially when we have carefully laid down rules in aviation for decades.
I think that comes down to personal discipline. I don't think you can only make so many laws. I mean, look, so there are failures here. The next time, it should be out of the hands of the airline crew. So in the UK, they would call the police to come into it, right?
Aha.
In the US, they called police and Homeland Security to come out.
Or is it air traffic marshals that they called, or what are they called?
Yeah. In the US, between police and Homeland Security, just be like, this guy is a threat to this team. In the US, that guy might end up in Guantanamo Bay or someplace.
But they might even US, they'll probably do a psych evaluation. Or
it's not going home that day, in the US. It's not going home that day. It's going before a judge. They will hold him first. Terrorism. They'll be like, what are you doing? It's terrorism.
That's probably terrorism, yeah.
It's terrorism. It's terrorism. We don't know what. So that liquid, then there's assault. You poured a liquid over someone. That's a criminal offense. You poured a liquid over somebody, right? So that person has a right to bring charges against you for battery because you poured, and they were in the course of doing their job. That's a criminal offense right there. And I have a right to refuse to listen to you begging me because you assaulted me. And you see all these signs on London Underground. You see all these signs at airports. They say our staff have a right to do their jobs without fear or intimidation. So any incident of abuse,
they don't don't verbally or don't try.
Spitting, no abuse, no physical assault, whatever it is, you're going down.
Could ValueJet have told her to stand down and not fly that plane based on what they know about what happened? Would that have helped?
I mean, so why would you stop the flight because of one passenger? What would have happened was a further.
It's easier to take the passenger away from there.
It's just call the police. Police will come. Okay, enter this vehicle now. We'll bundle you. We'll bundle you. And anywhere in the world, the police will have the right to bundle you physically. In the US or UK, they might taser him if you're too aggressive. When they taser him.
They've been empowered now.
Yes, now it's the law. It's civil aviation laws. You are disrupting a flight. You are becoming a hazard to safety and security. And the timely operation of this airport. At Heathrow, where every jetway is on a tight schedule, and that delay is affecting another aircraft that's coming down. Or an aircraft that's already landed and is taxiing to use that jetway that you're about to vacate. So the 10-minute delay is already delaying, and it's a knock-on effect, right? Your jetway is only available for so long. It's a knock-on effect.
Absolutely.
So why are we going to let you do that? Bundle him, arrest him, please. Let him go and cool off in the airport police station. Let him go and cool down there. No. So anyway,
lastly, what did you think about the apology? Did you watch it?
I saw it. Look, it's an apology. I was not. It's an apology.
Not much of a muchness, have you?
It's an apology. I didn't even bother. I didn't go into too much detail. I just skimmed through it. It's an apology. I figured he should have apologized. It's good. It's a good thing he apologized, but he had no choice but to apologize.
Yeah.
The only way he gets his ban reduced or cancelled or not extended from 6 months is to pay an act of contrition, apologize. The next thing I'd like to see him do is go and visit the airline, okay, and apologize to those people in person. Like apologize to the flight crew, the cabin, the airline crew in person.
In person, yeah.
So go to speak to the airline, let them arrange a meeting. You meet those guys, go to the airline and apologize to them in person. A civilized country, in a civilized country, and I keep saying this about Nigeria, in a civilized country, he would also be forced to take anger management classes. If he doesn't get convicted of a crime.
Yeah.
And they might say you need to serve probation or you need to serve. It'll be a non-custodial sentence, but there'll still be something.
Yeah, it'll be non-custodial.
We add up the assault on the airline staff, the disruptions to the flights and everything, then you're looking at a very serious set of charges.
Yes, at least 3 counts.
Yeah. So if it's just a ban he's serving, he's getting off lightly. He got away with one.
Anyway, thank you all for staying with us. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, and of course YouTube, where you're watching Two Grown Men. We want you to also contribute to the conversation. Put your comments. We'd like to see your comments. We'd like to get them engaged. Where are you coming from this? From the Kwam angle, from the airline angle, from the security angle? Should he have even been allowed to even get close to the tarmac? What experiences have you had flying within Nigeria? Have you have you had something similar to this that's happened to you or somebody you know? What are your thoughts? Please share it with us, and we'll be happy. And if you want to come on the show or you have a topic you want us to react to or talk about, please send us a message at twogrownmen@gmail.com. Of course, you can also use the comment section in this video to also send us a message. If you also want to come on air to talk about any topic, send it to us. We'll review it and we'll be happy to get back to you in due course. Lami, over to you.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching us. It's always a pleasure to have you. Once again, we appeal for you to support us. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you very much for watching. Odaro.
Thank you.